But yeah, that's a short story why I can't ever go back to Mexico. So anyway, such as things. Anywho, hi guys, welcome to our live show. Today is February 2nd, 2016 this time. Today we have Brian from Jag Precision. You can also find him on Instagram as Brian at Echo1. And I would highly suggest checking out his Instagram because obviously you got cool photos of guns, you got some dope hikes you've been on, and I personally really like he actually cooks some pretty delicious meals with and bacon. Puts them up on there with bacon. Big fan of bacon. Else. God bless America.
And shooting guns.
And gun shooting, but specifically I'm a fan of your actual plating techniques and your cooking. Yeah. You actually posted something online about a candied bacon, which I'd never heard of before.
Oh, it's so good. It's basically a stick of bacon with black powder, or not black powder.
Wow.
You could actually do that. Black pepper and then brown sugar, and you slow bake it, and it's just like...
That sounds really good.
That's good. Anyways,
on to serious things. Yes. Well, first and foremost, I just want to get some promos out of the way. We've got tons of new products that have been restocked. In case you don't know, we've got a lot of products that are on our website discounted up to 80% off. And just to make it easier for you, our customers, we've actually just pre-discounted a lot of these products, so you don't have to put in a coupon code to bring the price down. Just the price is already down. And we also have a free shipping option. If you place an order over $125, you can use the coupon code FREESHIP to get your shipping free, which is awesome. It's going to save you a lot of money in the long run. In addition to that, we do have global shipping available still. We are shipping all over the world to just about anywhere with the exception of North Korea because they're at the naughty kids table.
Yeah.
So hit that global checkout button. We recently had some folks from, I believe, South Africa ask, how much is it going to cost to get shipped to us, duty, taxes, or fees? And the easy way to sort that out is you put all the stuff you want in the cart, hit the global checkout button, and it will let you know about any duties, taxes, or fees ahead of time before you check out. So that's an easy way to find out how much it's going to cost to get it to you. Wow, I'm burping a lot. Thank you. All right. Now, in addition to that, we've got a new BB Wars event going live. I'm not sure if it's going to go live right after the live show or tomorrow, so it is going to be going live soon. It's a BB Wars event in California at a field we've never thrown one at before, but which I've had played at. So it's going to be a really great field and a really great event, and I'm really looking forward to it. So hopefully it'll be live very soon. Today, since we have Brian from Jag Precision on here.
You spelled my name wrong.
Yeah, I know. I did that on purpose. See, Brian's awful cooking. I did that on purpose. We've got the Modify XTC carbine in here today. Check it out. Let's bring it more. Yep. Now we saw this at SHOT Show. Pretty cool looking gun, and it's got some beast internals, which we are going to talk about, but you probably can't see through the gun. We've also got some modified mags here, which we're going to talk about today. And yeah, so that's what we're going to go over. So why don't we get into the nitty-gritty parts of it, which is the Modify XTC carbine.
Okay, XTC carbine is going to be, as you guys know, Modify makes all the internal parts. Now they make an M4, so there you go. It's going to be a complete rifle, ready to go, solid aluminum except the plastic pistol grip and stock, but everything else aluminum and perfect inside out. Things that make it stand out, you're going to have a nice gas block, like so.
It's okay.
That basically stabilizes. You see a lot of times people rest their handguards like that on a barricade, cool, or they rest like that and it bends. This can go up a little, but it stops because of the gas block. So it'll give you more accuracy and everything, and also stabilize it. So in the long run, have a more accurate, stable shot. So that's cool. That's one little feature you're not going to see. Another cool feature would be torque motor, of course, and a MOSFET inside. Check out the Jag Precision YouTube. There's a video to take this all apart, and also the upcoming video on Airsoft GI. They're going to have the text go over it and tell you all the cool things about it, so the reasons why you should buy this. Coming out in March or so stay tuned. So you have a torque motor and a MOSFET. So when you look at that cool selector, it's 45 and you have a straight trigger, so you can tap that trigger really fast. And what makes it even faster for the rate of fire is the spur gear is a version 7 like M14, so it's instead of a large gear, it's smaller, so you basically have less teeth and higher RPMs. When you join that with the torque motor, MOSFET, and of course the LiPo, you can just, it's basically like an AEG Polar Star if you think about it. The gearbox will be complete, Modify, Taurus, everything. So you don't really need to, like, yeah, look at Bob's excited. Sorry, I'm blocking your face.
It's okay.
You don't really need to buy any other parts because, like, you just BBs and batteries. The stock is pretty cool. Opens like so. So you can
Wow,
like that.
fancy.
Another cool feature you'll notice, there's no wires inside the buffer tube itself. It's run along the bottom. With that,
That's nice.
you're able to use, it will come with a tool provided, a long Allen. You basically stick it in there, you push the spring guide in, and you can bump it up to like say 400 FPS. You can back it out on one back setting to like 370, done. And then you can back it out all the way, take it out, no other tools, take out the spring guide, and pop in your own spring for higher FPS, lower FPS, depending on what you want to do on the field. So you're done. You don't have to worry about wires in the way. Like say, like I'm not knocking VFC, but like VFC has wires in the buffer tube and other rifles, and it gets in the way for your buffer tube lipos. But with this, you can fit technically a little larger buffer tube, and you don't have to worry about that. So that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, just a small fun factor for me is like I actually haven't really ever used an airsoft gun that has that 45-degree fire selector, and it's actually really nice. It's a small feature, but you'll be surprised how nice it is to have on your airsoft gun. So pretty cool. You got the key mud front handguard, which you mentioned. It comes with the 190 round Modify XTC mag, which feeds very well. Now, these should be available near the end of March, hopefully, and they should be priced around $360-ish. So I also do like the ejection port. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
It just kind of goes in with their honeycomb system. It kind of similar to the Strike Industries, which is also one of Modified Jag's buddies companies. So you have a nice little dust cover. Sorry, guys. Get that. If you can see the glare. There you go. Mm-hmm. You have a beehive, or it's not a hex mag, but it's or hexagonal. And then you have a typical bolt release. And also you'll see a winding rotary wheel for the hop up. And so it's a cool rifle.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's nice to have a lot of internal features you'd want right out of the box right away, especially the FPS adjustment with that easy to access spring guide. That's going to be nice, especially for a lot of players that want to make adjustments to the FPS without having to have like a complete toolkit or without having to go all the way home.
Yeah.
So would like to give a very special shout out to an American hero who actually passed on 3 years ago today, Chris Kyle. This is unfortunately the anniversary of his passing. However, he is an American hero. We would like to recognize him. And also the movie that was put out about his life and his book, American Sniper. If you haven't listened to the book, I actually listened to that on Audible. It's an audio book, and he actually reads it, which is pretty amazing to have. But also check out the movie if you get the chance, American Sniper. Now, also moving on, we have another cool product here that I would like to personally mention, which is these Modify mags. We have both a high cap and a mid cap version that has a tracer unit that you can add into it, which makes it a lot more affordable to have a tracer unit in Airsoft. Normally, you'd have to buy the tracer unit attached to the end of your gun, and they cost like upwards of $60, $80, $100. However, you can just buy this magazine for $30, add the tracer unit inside, and it does come with the follower that will make it a tracer unit, which is this guy right here, as well as batteries, which is nice to have right out of the box. A lot of companies,
all one little box and you're good to go.
Yep, a lot of companies don't provide that, and at a fraction of the price of a tracer unit. And it also, because it's in the magazine, it doesn't add extra inches to your gun, which a lot of people would like, but so be it.
Well, for that being said, if you have a CQB gun, the downside is when you have a mock suppressor for the tracer unit, it just adds, and you have all this room, and you can't really cut those corners. With this, you can have the tiny little M4, and you're good to go. The Beehive, you'll have a little... What are you doing?
No, Jag Precision is on here, and they're dropping a lot of smiley faces.
Oh, that's
What's
a
up,
little
Jag
tank
Precision?
Okay, the Beehive, you're going to have a cool little feature like this, so you can yank it out of your pouches. And this will hold 190 rounds, and of course you have to install this. It's really simple. 2mm set screw, undo that screw, lift up, put it in there, and close it, and you're done. So essentially, every time I get a lot of questions like, how does this work? Is it always on? Is it on when it's in my pouch? Is it gonna show where I am? No, it only works when the hop up. You know how the hop up for the M4 works, and it presses in here and pulls the little stop like that back. When it pulls back like that, it turns on. When it's like that in your pouches, it's black, no light, no nothing. So you can have It's good.
All right, really quick, let me answer Danix. Danix asked, what is the gun called again? This is the Modify XTC carbine.
Yes.
This should be available on airsoftgi.com, hopefully in late March at the earliest. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
We're probably a pre-order, so stay tuned.
Also, Jag Precision was asking you to look at the camera.
I keep on looking here.
It's tempting. Totally understandable.
Oh, there's a little birdie there. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you are
the
orange.
Hey, buddy.
Get over here.
What's going on?
Tang's jealous now.
Bob, police those sideburns. I know. I gotta what's it called? If anyone ever watched Doug, I gotta get my ears lowered, aka gotta get a haircut. So I will be cutting sideburns. Thank you, Jag Precision. Oh man. And Bogdan Marin, your shout out is approved, as is G-Man Video's shout out, which is approved. Also, this mag has a nice windy wheel, at least the high cap version, for ease of high capping. Another cool feature is if you like the tracer units and you also have a Modify XTC magazine, you can switch out the guts back and forth between these mags. Isn't that correct?
Yes. For the Beehive and the regular XTC, you can switch them out. A little set screw in the bottom and you're good. An easy way to tell, like if you're at your store, like GI walk-in store, tactical or Virginia one. Sorry. If you see the clear top, that means it's tracer. Basically all the light bounces around inside. If you see like a smoke black top, that means it's not a tracer. But if you like the different base plates, you can switch them out if you like. So you can customize them if you want to. And there's also tan options too. Check out airsoftgi.com.
Well played. Garen Beavers, your shout out is not approved.
Dude.
But that's what he asked for.
Oh.
He didn't want his shout out approved. Anyway. Okay. I don't understand that question. Anyway. Let's see. EAE Airsoft, your shout out is approved. Now, out of curiosity, have you... Oh, actually, there's one other thing I want to mention about these modified mags, because I think it's a really cool feature. I don't know if you can see this ridge that they put on the back end of the mag, but they actually did that so these mags will fit into the vast majority of airsoft guns. Now, if this is actually too long to fit off your airsoft, to fit in the mag well of your airsoft gun, you actually just shave this down a little bit, and it will fit in. But they actually added this extra part so it fits into more airsoft guns, and these mags are that much more versatile.
It's more custom fitting, because like a lot of times you see it all the time, people buy mid caps and they put it in their gun and it wiggles. They're like, oh, I don't like this, and they do the whole tape thing. Tape is going to fall off. This you can literally put it on the cement and shave it if you like the popsicle stick and make spears back in the day. Shout out to old people. But with this, it's locking in there. And yes, there is a little mag play, just like a real rifle. If it's locked in there tight, you're never going to be able to take it out. So keep that in mind. But you're good to go.
All right. Now we've actually sold a fair amount of these tracer mags on the field, because when people find out that they don't have to buy full tracer, they just have to buy a mag, they're pretty inherently enthused. Now, how long would you say it would take someone to switch out the mag and put in this tracer follower? How long do you think that'd take?
Okay, 2 mil screwdriver. Lift this up, and then it will come with a small little Phillips screw. You basically stick it in the little unit right there. Oh, first put the batteries in. So you open the battery. And then put that in there, screw it in place, and then Hollywood Magic, maybe 2 minutes max. Worst case scenario, if this gets bumped and shipping, like say if UPS guy's like, yeah, listen to like Megadeth or something like that, this little switch, which you'll see how it works, if that gets bumped, you might have to get like a fingernail and gently pry it up a little so it gets activated, otherwise it'll be on all the time. Other than that, 2 minutes max, maybe a total of 5 minutes, done.
Dope. That's awesome. That Boy Scout, your shout out is approved, and that's awesome. That Boy Scout ordered $200 in Airsoft GI products and actually used a bunch of gift cards he got in, I believe, our last mystery box, and got to use the free shipping coupon code to get that shipped to him for free, which is awesome. Congratulations, that Boy Scout. That's dope. Bob, tell people to stop cussing. Guys, this is the internet.
Well, technically, Airsoft is made for 18 and up, so we can swear, 'cause it's like rated R movies, so technically, what are you doing here if you're underage?
Well, there's a lot of airsoft people that play that are under 18, you know.
True, I know, but this is a man's sport.
Okay.
When beards are encouraged to be cool and people get upset by swearing, what's going on?
Well, to be clear, I started playing airsoft shoot when I was like 12 or 13.
I know, me too.
Bro. I actually came into airsoft from paintball because I was looking for something way more realistic and way more fun.
So you came out of paintball into airsoft.
Yeah, well, I saw an ad. Okay. I saw an ad in a paintball magazine for airsoft. I was like, that's what I've been waiting for. I want something that looks that cool.
It looks better.
I'm even playing paintball. Jeez. So, anywho, whoa.
That's a lot of typing. Holy crap.
Yeah, the comments are going crazy, and people are cursing.
How do you pick?
It's tough because sometimes, like, we'll talk about stuff and the comments will go crazy, like right now. And Bob, what is the price? Notice me. Okay, all right. Let's go over the prices one more time. The Modify XTC carbine should be priced around $360-ish when it comes out. Hopefully late March. Now, in addition, the Modify XTC mag
about
$15, and both the high capacity magazine and the mid capacity magazine that have the possible tracer unit you can install should be around $30. So pretty awesome, especially when you consider the full price of a tracer unit. So awesome. Okay. Let's see here. Do you know anything about Haley Strategic Gear?
It's a good gear company. I personally don't use it. Haven't really had a need for that. I'm not super into gear. I just use stuff that works.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool, I guess. I have nothing good nor bad. It's neutral.
I'm personally a big fan of the stuff I've seen. I've never actually been able to use some. I can't remember the main chest rig that he designed a few years back that people can Velcro onto their vests. It's like the DS9 chest rigger or something else like that. But that looks really cool. I wish I owned one, but I personally don't own any Haley Strategic Gear yet. Jordan Cobb, your shout-out is approved, as well as Anthony Alexander's shout-out, which is approved, as well as Dalton Hughes' shout-out, which is likewise approved. Bob, do you want a cookie? Normally, I would absolutely say yes. However, I have 2 chocolate chip cookies sitting on my desk, which have hopefully not been stolen, Mark.
I took one.
I have 1 left. Okay.
Mark took the other.
Okay. Carter Vlogs. What is the best plate carrier? That's a very good question. However, I'll tell you, there is no best plate carrier. There is the best plate carrier for you.
Yep.
I personally use a Spectre plate carrier myself. I've been using that for years, mainly because I'm really cheap and don't want to buy a new one, and it does everything I need it to. I'm a pack animal, so it carries a lot of stuff. So I'm good. Shoot, my first suggestion wouldn't necessarily be a plate carrier. I really like the Griffin Golem chest rigs because they're so affordable and do everything. However, Condor's got a lot of great plate carriers. Spectre's got a lot of great plate carriers. There's a lot of stuff on a website, but it's mainly what works best for what you're going to do.
I would say check with your friends and wear it for a game. Yeah, you might get all their sweat and everything, but test drive it. Wear theirs and see how it works. Go from there.
Indeed. Now, do you have any experience with dual sector gear builds?
Back in the day, yes, when Modify came out theirs, and also Siege Tech, but that's been I just kind of shelved that and don't really mess with it that much.
Now, someone was asking, will we think of dual sector gear builds? I personally don't tech, what's that called, as much, or not at all, because we've got a world-class tech department over at our building. However, what are the pros and cons of dual sector gear builds, or DSG builds as they're known?
The pro, yes, a lot of BBs downrange, high rate of fire, and it's great for CQB. The con, which my personal con, is just it's not really the maintenance. It's you have to fine tune it. And once you set it, it's good. It'll last a long time. But then it's just honestly, I don't have a lot of time. When Modify was coming out there, as I'm testing, this is cool, and then things would break just from me trying and doing this and everything, and it's just kind of frustrating. And it's I just want to kind of go play.
Mm-hmm.
So 25 a second is good. 40 is cool, 50 is good, 60, I think the highest I got was 52, but it's a lot of BBs, and I wasn't a fan of mid caps, so it's this is conflicting BBs but winding, I'm good with the slow rate of fire now. And most fields now in California are semi-auto only, so it's kind of why have a Lamborghini when you can only go 25 miles an hour?
I wouldn't say most fields in Southern California are semi-auto. There's a lot of
Or
fields that are
there's
going that way.
the rate of fire caps. Like Tack City had 31, and I was at 31.5. Like, nope, you can't use this. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And that was just single gear.
Oh, buddy. Shoot. Alex Desjardins had a very good question that was related to, I think, Jack.
Come on, bacon.
Nice. Let's see. Okay. Hey, Brian, do you know if painting a gun, such as my Timberwolf, would void the warranty?
It depends. If you keep the orange tip on, no, not really. But also, if you get paint and gunk on the inside, then yes.
Okay, let's see if there are any other questions. All right, Rebels Gaming keeps saying the same phrase over and over. Bob, version 3 gearbox. I don't know what you're asking, so let me know more of what you're trying to get across, and we'll try and go over that.
Say E&L AK is the best buy from AirsoftGI.com.
Well, it's funny. I'm glad you mentioned it because I was actually just going to go into E&L AKs. E&L AKs. I use E&L AKs generally whenever I get a chance to use an AK because they're awesome. They're built like a rock. I mean, they are really tough. I actually used one when I went to Fort Ord for a game we had, I believe it was last year, and I just kept bumping into stuff, and I literally didn't worry at all because it's awesome. Why don't you tell...
Solid steel.
Well, why don't you tell our viewers more about like E&L AKs and what you guys have coming out?
For the E&L AKs from Jack Precision and E&L, it's basically a solid steel AK. Basically, they looked at how real AKs are constructed and built, and then built an airsoft version like that. You will have, for the trunnion, you're going to have it basically pinned with hydraulic press, unlike see like the Echo Red Stars where it's just like a little, you can tap that pin out. It's in there. You need a hydraulic press to take it out. There's no set screws like an LCT. You can literally throw the E&L off a 30-foot building and pick it up and use it. When Bob was assaulting instead of bumping, you say assaulting.
Yeah,
when he was assaulting doors and everything with the gun, it's solid steel and wood, just like a real one, no problems. And inside that heart is a version 3 gearbox, which is like all AKs. So I guess for that guy's version 3 question, that
he was actually asking, is a version 3 gearbox fully upgradable? Can I wreck house?
Yes.
All right, answered your question. Excellent. Rebels Gaming, yes, you can upgrade it. Yes, you can wreck house. And there you go. Oh, man. Let me just get that guy out of here.
Whoa! Yeah. Why is that guy swearing? We need an adult.
We need an adult. There was actually another very good... oh, my God. Comments are crazy today. That one right there. Jeez. Okay. What type of internals are in an E&L?
For the internals, I would say check out the Jack Precision YouTube, or you can even check out my factual third-party Team Black Sheep blog about it, where I compare it. You have standard steel gears, regular reverse latch. Cool thing about it is you're going to have some bearings, some solid bushings on the sector gear for the strength and the durability. You're going to have a piston kind of like a GMP, where you have 3 of the last teeth solid steel, and it's not ported, but it's basically weight reduction, like divots or holes. And then you're going to have, like on the version 1, you're going to have a basically a silent piston head and cylinder head combo with an O-ring in the nozzle. So that's cool. For the version 2 or the Gen 2s, you're going to have a solid cylinder set. So you have the cylinder and the cylinder head solid, like one piece spun aluminum. So you have all that air pressure behind that piston going forward, and not out the leak. You don't need to do the Teflon trick or anything down the road. Out behind the BB, so that's cool. You're going to have, I believe, 8mm ball bearings, silicone wiring, same piston, same gears with a sector clip, so that's cool. And of course the same metal hop-up unit. So it's and of course the torque motors, and you're good to go.
Roger that. Call sign GSA was just asking if we still do global shipping because you want to order because you're outside the country. We absolutely still do global shipping. Put whatever you would like to get in your cart and then hit that global checkout button. Again, it's going to tell you about any duties, taxes, or fees, how much shipping is going to cost. It's going to tell you all that stuff before you place your order so you're not surprised by the cost of anything down the line. Caden Maple was asking, what happened to Miracle Barrels? Well, we just had a bunch of the next-gen Miracle Barrels go up on a website for pre-orders. So if you know you want the next generation of Miracle Barrels, I implore you, go on there and place your pre-order, because this happened last time. We had pre-orders up, and people got on it as quick as they could, and all the pre-orders got filled, and then people were wondering, like, hey, they're out of stock. Why can't I get mine? It's because people pre-ordered ahead of time, and they reserved their Miracle Barrels, again, ahead of time. So make sure to get on the pre-order right now, because now's your chance. Get them now and reserve your copy, or reserve your Miracle Barrel. All right, let's see. Okay. Bob, is getting a Miracle Barrel worth it? That's a very good question. That's from Thomas Winger. I actually have an old Tokyo Marui AK that really hasn't had a lot done to it. Basically, our tech department just got it functioning again, and so the only addition I made to it was a Miracle Barrel, and it improved my range. However, what I was impressed by is that it actually improved or almost completely cut out my left to right deviation on shots. Basically, the only deviation was more or less up or down based on the hop-up setting. So it really improves your accuracy, and it improves how far you can shoot, the basically distance of your engagement. So it's pretty awesome. I am a wholehearted believer in them, and I highly suggest buying them. Yep. All right, let's see. Bob, what airsoft rifle and plate carrier do you suggest just getting into airsoft? I'm sure you might have some suggestions as well, Brian.
Pick your favorite video game. What kind of player are you? You know, are you going to be a support gunner guy? You really don't need a plate carrier. If you're going to be like an M4 guy or AK, that will change what kind of vest or carrier you're going to use. That's a big question.
It is a big question, so I'm going to give a equally generic answer with a very specific gear answer. I would highly suggest, either going to local field and renting a gun and trying out airsoft, or getting something that's a bit more affordable in airsoft, just to see your kind of play style or what you'd like before you get into like the mid-range or high end guns. So something in the $100 or $150 price bracket for an AEG, an airsoft electric gun, would be a very good starter. Also, if you want some very affordable gear to start out with, I would highly suggest the Griffin Golem chest rig or the Griffin Dragon Spine belt system. Both of those are really affordable. I think they're around $15 or $12, and they allow you to carry a lot of mags, and for the price, they're actually really durable. I've taken the Golem chest rig to a variety of ops and haven't had anything tear, haven't had any issues, whatever. Regardless, the one primary piece of equipment you're going to want to have is eye protection, and also probably face protection. So I would highly suggest a full face mask. That's what I use, or you can get a lower mesh mask and a set of goggles. But you want to get some full seal goggles. You want to make sure that you keep these eyes in pristine condition. So
otherwise your teeth would look like Gollum.
Yeah, I had been shot in the teeth before when I first started airsofting, and that stunk. That really stunk. Bob, what is the best handgun for someone who's just starting out? That's from Brendan Moat.
Echo 1 Timberwolf.
Timberwolves are actually, that's a good answer, because those are very good guns. Actually, we recently used it on Friday for our game at Hollywood Sports Park. One person who's playing Hunger Games found only a Timberwolf pistol, and I thought she shot all the rounds out of it, but I guess no, she got, how many rounds in hold?
I think 24 or 25.
Okay, well, there were about 3 left in the mag when she was done, and she was the eventual winner. Those are great guns. Also, KWA pistols are great right out of the box. KJW pistols are also affordable. I personally would prefer the Timberwolf or a KWA pistol right out of the box. Let's see. Jordan Cobb, your shout-out is approved. Again, I already gave you one earlier, though. Oh, wow, that's interesting.
What?
Jesus. Sorry, guys. Just some crazy comments. All right. Well, Drew Johnson's shout-out is also approved. Oh, my God. Okay. Man.
Wait, I want to bring up a question. Why, in the world of airsoft, you have people like keyboard commandos saying things like that on the chat and everything, but when you get to the airsoft field, you don't see this. Why do people do that? And that goes into making airsofters harassed and get out of airsoft, quit playing airsoft because people are being jerks.
Well, I think it has to do a lot of like the anonymity on the internet makes you feel a lot bigger than you actually are. Like you can say whatever you want if you're not saying it to someone's face, you know.
True.
And plus, you also don't even have your real name there, so you have an extra shield to hide behind. I mean, it's like standing behind like let's say you're like taunting a guy like, hey, I'm gonna fight you, but you're standing behind your 10 biggest friends, and then you're yelling over the tops of their like bulky heads like, I'm gonna fight you. You just got to get through my 10 best friends first.
Yeah, but how I see it, airsofters, we're a family. We're a small hobby sport. Everybody picks on us, the politicians and everything, but yet we're always too busy fighting each other based on what guns, what brands, what vest, everything. Why can't we just stop? And there's probably going to be people now making fun of me for saying, oh, shut up, Brian, talk about airsoft. But for reals, can we work on that as a community, as a family, maybe? Thanks. PSA over.
The more you know. Okay. Do you guys think you'll ever have an event in Maryland or ever visit to play? I know I'd like to play there. It's been a while since I've been to Maryland. I'll look up some good fields and see what we can do. Let's see. DJ Airsoft Squad, your shout out is approved.
Do you guys sell the dye mask?
Where? Which ones?
It's
Dye
I don't know,
i4?
it scrolled up.
Okay. Someone's asking if we sell dye masks. I actually personally own a dye i4, and I do believe we still sell them. Those are really, really comfortable face masks. I would highly suggest them.
And they do work if you wear glasses, like low-profile prescription glasses. They do fit and they work. Use that SS Airsoft, and they're great. So
that
check
is a
them out.
great field. I believe it's call sign GSA Airsoft. Your shout out is approved again because I shouted you out earlier today already. Excuse me. Okay. Airsoft GI stores and other locations. It's a very good question. We always do look out at new locations with which to open up a store. However, we're unable to comment on possible locations where we might have a store until we can actually publicly comment. So essentially, if we release the information online, then we can talk about it all day. But we haven't, so I can't. All right. Let's see. Interesting. All right. What state are you guys in? That's Anthony Alexander. Well, our corporate office as well as our California walk-in store is in California. We also do have locations in Plano, Texas, as well as Chesterfield, Virginia. Bob always says do. That's correct. I'm not shouting you out again, call sign GSA, until I do. Your shout out is approved. All right. That Asian Airsofter shout out is also approved. Let's see if there are any questions.
I'm just going to wind this until shout outs come out, okay?
Okay. David Bayer, your shout out is approved. And you're done. All right. Interesting. I'm not fully understanding the question, but speed-soft conflict and overshooting. Thoughts?
Ooh, can I answer this?
Go ahead, Brian.
Logically, no matter if it's speed soft, mil same, or a regular backyard player, people shoot until the target is hand up or whatnot. It's just common. You do it too, but yet you can't complain. That it doesn't work that way. So take that in consideration. Speed soft, maybe if they have their Polar Star, their dual sectors, more BBs flying down range, but after they pull that trigger, BB's already flying. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like fire and forget. And if you just stick your head out and you get shot by 20 BBs, sorry. But you do the same. I see the people, and I sometimes I will shoot 3 times at a person because I'm not saying I'm perfectly accurate, but if one BB goes and hits them, I can't see it 100 feet if all BBs hit them unless I have a miracle barrel or something like that. But I'm just saying, it's like everybody overshoots, but then people still complain about it. So it's like, it's airsoft. There's full auto.
I mean, there's always going to be something to complain about. However, I have noticed that, I try and be sneaky or at least like conservative with my shots, especially when I'm using like a gas M4.
Of course.
I mean, I like getting that 1 or 2 shot kill on somebody, but it's frustrating when I get that one shot and they don't call themselves out because it hits their gear. And that's understandable because you can't feel it. I mean, you should be able to hear it and judge. However, it's not always possible. Like, I'll go to a Milsim event, enter a room quietly, shoot one guy, shoot another guy, and then one of those two didn't feel it or didn't think it actually hit them, so they turn around and shoot me, and then my stealthiness is all gone, and all the work I did to get there is just kaput. So I was actually talking with a fellow airsofter / YouTuber. We'll call him Winter Cat. No? Okay. Anyway, You know him. He is a YouTuber. However, I was watching some of his videos, and he'll go into a room and put like 6 or 7 shots into a dude before he moves on to the next dude, puts 6 or 7 shots. And what he was telling me is that he plays so much that he notices if he doesn't put that many shots into someone, invariably they'll just turn around and light him up because they'll pretend they didn't call it or pretend they didn't feel it and keep going. Whereas if he puts like a modicum number into them, it's clear they got shot and he can move on without having to backtrack.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's tough. It's a really tough middle ground. Like, at one point, like, you want to just be able to get one-hit kills on people, but it's not always, possible.
Well, the same for firearms. I do the competition shooting, and you have a human silhouette. You can fire in the A zone, one shot, move on to targets, and that counts as a kill. If you're not sure of that or your skills, you fire 2 shots, and it's neutralized and you're dead, or it's dead and you can move on. Sometimes you fire 3 while you're running for some of the stages. So it comes into play of, did you hit the person or the target? Did they acknowledge it? Is it neutralized? Can you move on? So
ZB Vision, your shout out is approved, as well as Daniel Youngquist, whose shout out is approved. Let's
if
see.
you made them pay $1 for the shout outs, you'd be a millionaire.
That would be fun. However, I don't know how I would collect. Yeah, it's funny though. There's a podcast I used to listen to where they'd have a section called $5 shout outs, where people would literally mail them $5 and they would shout them out.
Wow,
it's pretty ridiculous.
You guys are lucky. You do this for free.
Yeah, right. Oh man. Okay. Can I get a shout out for my local field, Phoenix Tactical in Michigan? Phoenix Tactical, your shout out is approved. Oh, wow, the comments are going crazy now. Hey, Bob, any AEG bullpup rifles you would recommend? Very interesting question. I'm going to ask you as well. What?
I'm a fan of the Marui AUG. I had 3 back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, I like the weird guns.
They were heavy, though.
No.
Really?
Muscles.
Okay.
No, but actually the bullpup, if you lock it in your shoulder, you don't really notice it. And you have the compact, I would say the Steyr, but...
I'm personally a fan of the Tavor. The P90 is also very fun. You should. Oh, speaking of that, you should check out P90 Girl.
But the Steyr is a version 3 gearbox, which is far superior. Shout out to that guy.
Okay. I'm just not a fan of necessarily like the whole build of the Steyr in particular. However, I will say
Steyr man liquor. Say it.
No, I don't know where to go with that. However, I will say most bullpup guns like the Steyr, AUG, and the Tavor and the P90. What's really nice is once you shoulder it, it's very easy to use one-handed because most of the weight is concentrated, in the back of the gun normally. However, it's very easy to use one-handed because you can use it one-handed. You can go around corners easily because of the shortness of the gun itself. So pretty darn cool. Bob, please read this minigun unboxing video. New on my channel. Shout out, Bob. This is from Red Lion Airsoft. Your shout out is approved. Let's see. Bob, Brian, do you suggest a dye for full face mask for a beginner or full headgear? I have fogging issues, by the way. I personally would absolutely suggest a dye I4 face mask. I really like the fact that out of the box they do come with a thermal lens. I'm a big believer in thermal lenses. They really cut down on most of the fogging issues you have. Now, I have used thermal lenses and still had fogging in extreme issues. However, by and large, I find that it cuts down on the majority of fogging issues that you will have as opposed to just a single pane lens. Would you recommend a dye I4?
I agree. No fogging issues. Even though I wear like prescription glasses, so you have like extra lenses and fogging issues, dye, no problems. You want to invest more money into protecting your face and eyes, so think about that. The dye will cover everything, so you're good to go. So I would say get it. Not endorsed, but just it's good.
Can an airsoft stock fit on a real AR rifle? Do you want to field that one?
Yes and no. It depends, like if it's mil-spec, like how a VFC buffer tube, or even, I believe, the Modify XTC, it's mil-spec. You have I don't know if commercial or like the Echo buffer tubes, which are larger, the same as commercial. But for example, I can get a VFC, regular VFC rifle, and put on a real steel Magpul stock because it's mil-spec in the same dimensions. So it just depends on, I guess, the stock itself. But Magpul, yes. but there's a whole bunch of variations, and then buffer tubes out there. There's a whole slew of them. So yes and no.
Danny Boy Z28, your shout out is approved. And your question is, when is the next mystery box? Well, hopefully we'll get
tomorrow.
We do have another mystery box.
Mystery.
we do have another mystery box coming up. We don't have a specific ETA and when it'll come out, but I would expect within the next 2 or 3 weeks we will have another mystery box coming out. Skullshot WMD, your shout out is approved. Willie Thibault, Bob, when are you coming back to Fort Ord? Hopefully this year. My parents are actually retiring up in the Monterey area, so I fully expect I'm visiting them as well as slinging some plastic at Fort Ord. Fort Ord is an amazing field. You were actually with us last time we played there.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a mix of outdoors and CQB and then like long ranges. It's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people don't know this, but Jimi Hendrix was actually stationed at that base when he was in the Army. Let's see here. AKM4 Airsofters shout out is approved. All right. This is a good question. Any holsters coming out for the Spectre RDP? I have one. Oh, shoot. I have one.
For the holsters, no, because it's a submachine gun. For that, there is an Echo One chest sling. You have left or right options. Do a single point sling if you need to. Or I've told people, since everybody does Kydex, it'd be really cool to have like a Molly Kydex thing on a plate carrier and just like clip it in there so you can run, get to your like little bunker, and then pull us out and fire. I'd love to see that. So,
shout out for Romania. Romania, your shout out is totally approved. Excuse me. All right, let's see. What is? Yeah, you smell that one. What is your favorite place to play on the East Coast? Well, I would have to say Ballahack Airsoft would be my favorite place to play on the East Coast. It's a great field. Make sure to check them out on Facebook. They've got a lot of great stuff coming out consistently at their field, and they're just overall great guys. Do you have a favorite place to play on the East Coast?
I would probably say SS Airsoft. I've been there like
Does that count as the East Coast, though?
It's close to the ocean. Yeah. I've been to Combat City. I've been all through Florida playing. Mm-hmm. It just depends. I don't know what they standard. I think it's past the Mississippi. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, SS Airsoft is a great field, and it's mainly just close quarters combat, but they've done a lot of great things to the field. In fact, I remember the last time I was there, the owner's son was playing Call of Duty and was like, "Dad, I want part of our field to look like that." And he took a screenshot of this, I believe is the favelas in, I think it's Call of Duty Black Ops 1. Yeah, and they just replicated and put it on the field, which is so cool. But a great staff at SS Airsoft. I highly suggest checking them out, as well as Ballahack Airsoft. And you can find them both on Facebook and I believe YouTube. Let's see. Wow, comments are going crazy. Baby Bugs Airsoft, your shout out is approved. Have you ever played in Georgia, Bob? Yes, I have. That's exactly how I know about SS Airsoft, as well as Elite Ops Airsoft, and All-Star Airsoft, and SAS Black Ops Airsoft. A lot of great fields in the Atlanta, Georgia area, the general area. Bob, shout out for Sacramento. Sacramento, your shout out is approved. Oh man, the comments are going crazy. So we'll try and get to a few more comments. We only have a few minutes left. My gosh.
It's just a blur.
Yeah, it is a blur.
Most of these questions could be answered on airsoftgi.com or like Echo One or Jag Precision if you guys check it out. Like instead of just asking right away. You're here to help, but I'm just saying like.
You can also hit us up on our Instagram at airsoftgi.com or Brian's Instagram at Brian at Echo One or my Instagram at Bob at Bob the Axeman.
I prefer my Facebook just so I can send you links. I have a bunch of videos that'd be helpful. Instagram you really can't do links, so Facebook would probably be better.
From Preston Cupperbush, Brian, can you please send me some free gear, please?
Do you want one minigun or two? If I give you free stuff, what are you gonna do?
Well, that rhymes. Did you plan on that?
I know that's rhyming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're like,
Rap
I'll give you one minigun or I'll give you two, but tell me what you're gonna do.
Oh.
Did you plan on rhyming?
No, I just off the top of my head.
Because you rhymed, but you just ran out of time.
Call me the Snowflake Killer.
I don't know what that means. Your thoughts on a bullpup AK?
Soviet Russia, no bullpup.
I've seen a bullpup SVD, which is interesting.
It's okay.
Fair enough. All right, Bob, shout out to Kiara. She's on my most recent video. If you want to go check that out, Kiara, your shout out is approved. Shout out for Old Line Tactical Airsoft in Maryland. Old Line Tactical Airsoft in Maryland, your shout out is approved.
So many shout outs.
M&E Productions, do you rap? Not well. I'm very bad. I've been unofficially forced to before. Do you rap?
No, I suck at rapping and Christmas presents. No.
Nice. I'm bad at wrapping Christmas presents too. It's funny, this Christmas I like wrap my fiance's gifts and like some for her family. I was like, "Can you tell which ones are mine?" She's like, "Yeah, the crappy wrap ones." It's like, "Are you kidding?" Yeah, that's it. Shout out to Poop Guy. Poop Guy, your shout out is approved. It's great to see you back here. Great name. Oh man. Bob and Brian, I got a VFC Scar. How would you run it? Also, shout out from both of you. Your shout out. He wants a shout out from both of us.
Shout out approved.
Approved. Excellent. Would you run a VFC Scar? Or how would you run it?
I don't think I would. I'm not a fan of that. This is personal. If I did, I'd probably... Like, is it heavy or light version? Or just... If it's heavy, I'd make it shoot like 500 and DMR just sit there and chill and like snipe. If it's a light, then I'll just make it high speed, you know, and go from there, like red dot and a laser flashlight grip. Nothing fancy. The same I do for an M4.
I'd probably get... I'd want to upgrade it to make sure it has really good trigger response, because I'm mostly going to shoot on semi, maybe a little full auto. But yeah, I would get either vertical foregrip or I'd get an angled foregrip along with a pressure pad and a flashlight and maybe a PTS Go Gun gas pedal, just because I like using those. So generally like some sort of vertical grip or some sort of
But that wiring, it's more difficult than an M4 to do MOSFETs and stuff. So you have to take that into consideration. Plus the battery storage.
That is an issue.
M4 for the win, or XCR.
Yeah, but generally I would suggest, like, when they need sort of assault rifle build, if you can add on a flashlight with a pressure switch, it's generally a good idea. I mean, because you can use that in a wide variety of areas, and especially if you play at night, or if you want to get
until it breaks and then you have to use momentary switch.
Oh my gosh.
Just saying, 1 is none and 2 is fun. That's that saying.
I don't think it's exactly it, but fair play. Bob's BDUs are a combat shirt. Generally...
Say a kilt.
That's lower than the waist, not above it. I generally go with BDUs just because it cuts down on some of the pain in case you get shot really close quarters at full auto. However, you know, I also grew up in a very hot part of California. Combat shirts are almost a must in certain areas because you don't want to overheat and have heat exhaustion or, God forbid, heat stroke. So yeah, combat shirt, I would wear a combat shirt if I absolutely had to because of heat, but generally I do wear BDUs just so I don't have to worry about, you know, getting shot at close quarters. I mean, it'll sting, but, you know, it'll cut down some of it.
Oh.
Yeah. But
and drink water.
Yeah.
You guys need to drink water.
Always gotta hydrate. Always gotta hydrate. Hydrate or die. Okay. For the 41th time, will my nickel metal hydride blow up? It got really hot yesterday while airsofting. That's from Carlton Wheeler.
Most likely you're using it undercharged, or it's probably almost dead and you just keep on shooting a lot. If you have an upgraded gun and you're using like a stock nickel battery, you gotta just upgrade your battery. Get a better battery.
Benjamin Rodriguez, please respond. Thanks, Brian, for the rail system I got from Jag Precision. Now my gun looks legit. Your response?
Cool. I'm sorry, I don't remember what I did.
He's probably just saying thank you for the...
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. Kilt all the way. Cry Precision kilt. Is that kilt made by Cry Precision?
I think so. I've seen it. I'm not sure.
It's a cool kilt. The tactic kilt.
I see people in airsofters, even in the firearms world, doing the kilt thing. It kind of makes sense, but then it's one of those ballsy things on the field. So
I think it looks great. No, seriously, I think they look awesome, and you definitely do have balls for wearing one. All right, last one we're gonna get to Brandon Willard. Advice for our beginning 13-year-old. Now, I would highly suggest always making sure you have your eye protection on when you're on the field at all times. You always want to have, if not a full face mask, you always want to have full seal eye pro. However, if you're just starting out, I would highly suggest using a full face mask just so you don't get your teeth shot out. You know, it does stink getting shot in the face. So use a full face mask. I'd highly suggest finding a local field and going to play there and renting a gun, or at least like buying an affordable gun from us to start with, so you can figure out like what kind of gun you want down the road, like a mid-tier or a high-end gun that you'd want down the road. So go and play, go to a local airsoft field, either rent a gun or buy an affordable gun, and make sure that you have quality eye protection. You don't want to lose something you can't replace, aka your eyeballs. All right, well, that's going to be it for our live show today. Oh, is there something else you want to say?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, once again, thank you, Brian, from Jag Precision, for heading over to joining us on our live show, showing us the
XTC. That's a lot of letters.
The Modify XTC carbine, once again, hopefully coming out near the end of March. Should be available on airsoftgeo.com for around 360-ish. Check out the Modify mags, some of which are available on airsoftgeo.com right now, especially these two tracer-style mags. These two on... these two right here. Pretty awesome. I believe the non-tracer mid-caps are worth $15, and the two tracer mags, but the high cap and the mid-cap, are around $30. Once again, I'm Bob the Axeman Hildebrand. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week on the Airsoft GI TV live show. Bye-bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye now.